We're going to take the next paper presentation, and somebody asking me, how are we going to do it? Don't worry. As long as I am the MC and the chief timekeeper, I am joining fate with the screen to make sure that nobody stays beyond reasonable doubt. So at this point in time, we are going to take our second paper presentation. This man is HSE warhorse. HSE warhorse. When he comes, you will actually lend credence to what I am saying. Mr. Walieyullah Adegoke, the man that calls himself Walieyullah, is going to speak on mental health and safety in the workplace, the next frontier for HSE. A young man misbehaved in my office just last month, 2 weeks after I heard he is dead. Was behaving like a psycho. But he was not behaving like that initially. I don't know whether he has joined the people that take ice or smoke Igbo. Oga, if Igbo no good for you, no smoke. The problem we have in Nigeria is that they write on the packet of Igbo and cigarette, they say, smokers! No, smoking is dangerous to health. That was the first thing they wrote. People smoke like 60%. Immediately they changed and wrote, the Federal Ministry of Health warns that smokers are liable to die young, causing Nigerian smoking. They are now smoking at the rate of 120% because they won't die. They won't die. What is the use of staying in this country when rice is 150 a bag? Want to die. Beloved, the thing no rhyme with your brain, please stay away from it. In fact, stay away from it as a safety professional. Where is Walieyullah? The lecture was not set. Let me give him just 3 minutes to set the lecture. Now, a student was asked, define physiology. He said, physiology is the study of physics. The teacher looked at him sternly and said, what of anatomy? He said, that one is easy, sir. Anatomy is the study of the stomach. Oh, you should stop confusing us. How would you go anatomy and you know that this is tummy? And say it is the study of human, this, that. Just go straight to the point. Then physiology, physics. Is he not correct? All right. There's this Okada man that he was very serious with safety. Okada man, he was very serious with safety. So one of these days, he came back very late, around 11 in the night, after toiling day and night. And his body was so hot that he rushed straight into the bathroom and started taking his bath. The next 1 minute, he was running on the street of by his house, shouting, Wicho, Wicho, Wicho. Neighbors rushed out and said, what is happening? Only to discover, he said he was bathing and water did not touch his head. Only to discover that the idiot did not remove his helmet. It is amazing what people could do. All right. So, well, I'm going to come with my own quiz too. Sir, what would you add to road to make it broad? Road. What will you add to a road to make it broad? Is there anybody that knows the answer? Oh, B. I thought it's good. Okay. That's very good. Let me just snap with this man so that they will know that I met important personality. Come and snap me. This man, I used to see him on television and social media. Hey. Today, I am able to catch him. I'll take this picture and show my village head. I'm now rubbing shoulders with the lacrima de la cream. Thank you very much. Welcome.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay. Today, we are very much conversant, or can I say, it has now become a common event that has been happening in the world that we have today. Many years back, we hardly hear issues concerning suicide. We hardly hear issues concerning depression and the likes. But in the world that we live in today, it is no more news on the rate at which people commit suicide today. We have people who are within our vicinity.
Thank you. Sorry for interrupting. Please, black SUV Land Cruiser, LSD 352CE. Please, somebody needs to rush out for an emergency. Just unblock. Thank you.
Okay. So like I was saying, in the era that we have today, or that we are today, we have someone around us, or we have heard of someone who has committed suicide. The other day, it was a story of a guy who posted on his LinkedIn about his younger brother who expressed the tough situation that he has been going through. And based on what he said on Twitter, he told the brother, be a man. You are a man. Few weeks later, the guy committed suicide. And now, he's feeling the guilt inside of him. People who commit suicide, they don't just wake up one day and say they want to commit suicide. A whole lot of activities, physical, mental, psychological, has happened in their life that has made them to make this decision. And that is why, when it comes to health, safety, and environment, it is very crucial for us to know what are the issues. How does this relate to the workplace? When we are, please always be on the slide. Please don't show me. I want to see the slide. Don't show me. Thank you. And this is not working. You people are spoiling my energy. I've given you this since morning. It's not moving now. Now, as I was saying, I want us to bring it back to our individuals because this discussion has to do with everyone. Health, safety, and environment actually has to do with everyone. But when it comes to mental health, it has to do with individuals. In the workplace, there are a lot of things that happen. Let me give you an example. Let us play this scenario. Imagine that you are to report a particular assignment or a particular project to your line manager. And when you submitted it, the man just looked at it, threw it to your face, shouted at you, and said so many things to you. How will you feel about it? How will you feel about it? You feel bad. Now, the same assignment, the same project, you went ahead to submit it to this same person, and he looked at it. First, appreciated the fact that you spent some effort, some time, some energy to submit. First, appreciated that you spent some time, some energy to submit this particular project. He told you, okay, from what I'm seeing here, you've tried, do this, and get back to me. How will you feel about it? How will you feel? You feel much better. It means that for the same action, For the same activity that we have done, different kind of response can affect the state of mental well-being of individuals. And that is why we need to talk about it when it comes to being a health and safety professional. Because at the end of the day, you will agree with me that most of the time, we spend most of our time in the workplace. Am I correct? You know, when I came to Port Harcourt yesterday and we were driving from the airport down to where I went to meet Mr. Cletus, and I didn't see traffic, and I was like, this is unusual, what's happening? Back in Lagos, before you move 1 kilometer, you are seeing a traffic of 500 meters. And when I was like, what is happening? No traffic here. In Lagos, if you want to get to work early, averagely, you have to wake up by, let's say, 5 or 4 o'clock. But right here, I don't know in some other areas, but I've not seen traffic since I've been here. There has not been traffic, so people are really enjoying here. So where I'm going to is that most times people leave home as early as 4 or 5 o'clock, 6, 7 in the morning. And when they get to work, they spend another 8 hours, 9 hours. Before getting back home, maybe 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock. And at the end of the day, you will realize that we spend most of our time. Some people work on Saturday. Am I correct? Some even work on Sunday. Okay, let's say Saturday. Let's say Friday. We're spending most of our time in the workplace. Does that not tell us that we should look into health and safety in the workplace? We should look into the issue of mental health in the workplace in order to promote that consciousness of mental well-being. And one of the issues that we have when it comes to mental health is this misconception. Are we together? One of these misconceptions is that when you talk about mental health, mental illness, people think that it's about being mad. They say, me, I'm not mad though. I remember we went to deliver a training, I think last year, to one of our clients on mental well-being. So, you know, as a training provider, you get there early, you set up the whole place. So the first man came in. When he entered, he looked everywhere. He didn't see anybody. You know, it was very early. Then he sat down, then he left. Then someone else came in, sat down, was waiting for the class to hold. So the first man who came earlier, but left to go and do some other things, when he now came back, he now saw the other man. He now said, thank God. The training was on mental well-being, psychological safety and mental well-being. He now said, thank God. We now asked him, that, okay, why did he say thank God? He said, when he entered and he saw everywhere empty, he thought that he was the only one that was sent by his company to go for mental health training. Maybe he's having mental problem in the office. That when he now came back, he now saw somebody else. Now says, thank God, though, we my people, we are much, we are now two. That is part of the misconception. Mental health doesn't mean that someone is mad. Let's talk about what mental health means. Let's start with health. We're saying health, we say, is a state of physical, mental, psychological well-being, where you are fit. It's not about not having malaria. That you are healthy doesn't mean, it's not that I don't have malaria, so I'm healthy. It's a whole state of different aspects of well-being. We're not talking about mental health. We said mental health has to do with your emotional state, your psychological state, and your social well-being. How do you relate with people? That is where madness starts from. That's where mental well-being starts from. It affects how you think, how you feel, and how you act towards people, and how you act when things happen to you. Those things define your state of mental well-being. It's not about not being mad. It's not about madness. It also helps you to determine how you handle stress, relate with others, and make choices. Because, like I said, workplace is where we spend most of our time in. At least we will resume by, let's say, 9 o'clock. Am I correct? Or 8 o'clock. Am I correct? And we close around what time? 4 or 5. Let's say 5. 8 to 5 is how many hours? 9 hours. 9 hours every day. And before you, in fact, it's not even 8 o'clock because you will leave your home. Your work actually starts when you leave home and when you get back home. At the end of the day, when you get home, you just sit down, do 1 or 2 things, and you go what? You go to sleep and wake up the next day. you will see that we spend most of our time working in the workplace. At the end of the day, the week, 5 days in a week, some 6 days. So is it not very important that we now look into how can we talk about mental well-being in the workplace? These days, and that's even the world that we live in now. When somebody falls from height, got involved in an injury, had an accident, it is very easy for the HR to say, go on leave, sick leave. Am I correct? Am I correct? But imagine somebody coming to your table and telling you that, Oga, I'm burnt out. I'm having mental illness. Please, can you give me 1 day leave? They will tell you to go and burn out on your chair in the office. You want to collect leave because you are burnt out. Because it is not being recognized. And statistics has made us to understand that mental health affects people. It affects individuals, even more than physical health. Let us do this simple analysis. I use someone falling from height. When someone falls from height and broke his leg, how many people suffers the physical injury? How many? Just him. Now, how many people suffers the mental trauma of him falling from height? How many? The father, the mother, the siblings, the cousins, the neighbors, the colleagues at work. It tells you how the effect of mental health spreads across beyond physical health. But today, what do we focus on? We focus on physical health. We focus on physical well-being. We focus on work at height. We focus on hot work. We focus on, tell me another one. Tell me in a confined space. And you don't know the mental well-being of that person entering the confined space. You will see people, they are going to work at height. You only create barrier by telling them when you are going to height to work, don't take your phone along with you. Don't pick your call. But you are not concerned about what is running inside these people. I used to hear this common saying. They will tell you, if you are at the gate of your workplace, drop whatever challenges you are having. Is it possible? Because it is still the same body. It is still the same mind. It is still the same brain. When we're talking about body, mind, and soul, we talk about mind, body, and soul every time. But in reality, we are trying to seclude it and say, your mind, just take any issue you have, put it at the back of, at home. When you enter the office, be ideal. Then when you go out, pick your troubles. It's not possible. A Uber driver told me a story one day. He said he was driving a man, was taking him to his workplace. Then the man started shouting at the back, at the back seat, I can't take this. I can't take this. I can't take this. The guy was like, Oga, now only you day back. Nobody day back with you. Which one is you can't take this? The guy had to park. Then he now asks the man, Oga, calm down. What is the matter? It's my wife. It's my wife. The guy entered the car and said, is his wife inside this car? His wife is not in the car. It's my wife. I can't take this. Now, that kind of man, when he gets to work, how do you expect that man to behave to his subordinate? How? And same thing happens to women too. They go through a whole lot, going to work, mending it with taking care of the family, taking care of the home, and they are going through a lot of mental trauma, and you expect them to come to work and work at an ideal state and be perfect and be productive. Is that possible? It's not possible. But I ask you the question, how are you addressing mental health in your various workplaces? I want to ask a question. How many of us have a safety policy, a health and safety policy in our workplace? Please raise up your hand if you have a policy on health and safety. You don't have safety policy? You don't have? Okay, you all have. Now, how many of you have mental health and safety policy? It tells you the level of awareness that we have when you are talking about mental health. And one of those things that has been suggested to have high impact, high effect in the workplace is the issue of mental well-being. In this country, Canada, when they did the research, they said mental health affects productivity more than physical health. And from the example that we gave the other time, is very important and is very true. Now, in Nigeria here, they said 20 to 30% are suffering from one form of mental illness. Is it true or it should be more? It should be more. Like how many percentage? So 70%. Someone said that it's only 2 people that are okay in this country, him and one other person. That every other person is not okay. Everybody agrees that it's only him that is okay. But when it comes to mental health, it has a whole role in the workplace. I don't want to go into the statistics of the cost because of time. I was told I have 30 minutes, but me, I'm going to add another 10 minutes, making it 40 minutes. No verse. So ask yourself these questions. Let us give ourselves this simple task. Ask yourself, how often do people in your team discuss about their mental health? Ask yourself, have I ever discussed, has any of my colleagues discussed about mental health? How often do people in your team communicate with you about the effect of workplace activities on their well-being? How often do they tell you that this work is giving them serious distress? How often do people in your team tell you about their personal challenges? Have you created that kind of relationship where they communicate their challenges to you? How often do people in your team feel comfortable expressing their job dissatisfaction? How often do people in your team talk about how happy they are about their job? How often do people in your team ask for help, request for feedback, and express violence and hostility in the workplace? All this will give you an insight into the level of practice of health and safety. But most of us, if you are familiar with the switches model, raise up your hand. Switches model. Yes, I decided to use this switches model to be able to relate with us. Now, simply put, because of time, switches model, simply put, is about layers of protection, line of defense, that helps to prevent an event from escalating and becoming and leading to an accident. For example, when you're talking about mental health, some things graduate from one point to another before it gets to the stage of what? Of psychological, what they call psychotic disorder. These Oyinbos, they know how to package statement. Madness, they call it psychotic disorder. Now, what will lead to psychotic disorder or stages that will lead to serious mental health issues or even suicide, because those are extreme cases? There are barriers in place, layers of protection to prevent anxiety, stress. The truth is that we all go through stress. There's no way, even when you sleep, you wake up and you're tired. Am I correct? Imagine you sleep and you woke up and you're tired. Am I correct? It means you have mental health issue. So, because you're supposed to wake up and be energized. Once you sleep and you wake up and you still feel stressed and tired, meet me later. But let us continue. So these layers of protection are meant to be active. Now, the switches model now talks about each layer, there should not be a loophole. The more the loopholes, the more the possibility of graduating from stage of stress to anxiety, stage of anxiety to depression. In fact, from burnout to depression, and from depression to issue of suicide and other psychotic disorders. So how do you identify this? Ask yourself, in your risk assessment, in your various workplaces, your risk assessment document, do you cover issue of mental health? Are you concerned about the mental health of that person going to work at height? Because yes, the scaffold might be good, it might be strong, competency is there, but when it comes to the health surveillance, have you included mental health in the health surveillance? Because that is the next stage. Because the world is becoming more complex. And the more the complexity, the more the toughness. The more the toughness, the more people are engaged. The more people are engaged, the more stressed people are. Even though today, we have airplanes, everything moving very fast. The faster it is, the more stress will still become. It means that mental health should not be put aside in any way. Now, look at this model. I've already explained what the switches model is. What are the stressors? Individually, we have our personal challenges. Some people have health issues that they are battling with. Some people, it is financial issue. If you have everybody now, 90% of us will say it's financial. Am I correct? I know, it's always financial. Give Nigerians money and they won't be stressed again. And we know how to cope. We'll have talked about coping, but there's no time. But what we are saying here is that you need to identify what are those things that stresses you and those things that can stress your workers in the workplace. Because those stressors are very important, because when you identify the stressors, you know how to address them. Personal life challenges, workplace demand. You go to work, you have deadlines to meet. You get home, you have personal issues to address. The community, security. So many things are happening simultaneously, and we want to have a productive workplace, and we are not concerned about the mental health of our people in the workplace. And this acts as a point of distress, and they create loopholes. Identifying barriers. What are those barriers that you should put in place in order to protect the workers? As an individual, what are those barriers? We'll talk about it when we have time. This thing that is blinking is giving me anxiety. It's giving me stress. Oga Cletus, we agreed on 40 minutes. So this thing is giving me stress. Mental distress, thank you. So, what are those layers of protection? Early coping mechanism. How do you immediately identify the stress you are going through? Those are the things that you should engage your workers. As you are talking about two-boss talk, talking about confined space, talking about work at height, talking about electrical work, the same way you talk about their mental health, building mindfulness, creating support for their mental well-being, emotional focus strategy. I will have talked about this, but it's on the slide, but I might not talk too much about it. Relationship and support, organizational support, and having early intervention when it comes to mental well-being. Coping mechanism can either block the loopholes. Now, the way you cope, you see, coping Nigerians, they said that we know how to cope. If tomorrow one slice of bread becomes 10,000 naira, Nigerians will cope. That's just it. We know how to cope. Some countries, everywhere we don't scatter now. Everywhere we don't scatter. But we know how to cope. I should not fall down. Physical injury. Now, coping. When you are unable to cope, then mental distress that start coming in. And these things are as simple as going for an interview. If you are going for an interview for the first time, you feel like the ground should open. I remember my first interview, I was shaking. The man had to tell me, "Oga, calm down, we are not biting you." Yes, it happens. It's a part of mental health, being unable to cope. Because those things, if care is not taken, it can lead to other medical issues. Something as simple as coming to speak for the first time. Before, I was supposed to be the fourth speaker. Fourth. Now, they just told me suddenly, "Oga, you are coming to speak now." I started shaking. I said, me shake for speaking. Why? Because it was so sudden. I was prepared for the fourth, but I had to come out. But still, because it's based on experience, I was able to adjust myself. What are we saying? Experience will always play a role in how you attend to mental health issues, and so many others on this slide. The holes, what are those things that can create loopholes on the cheese? Like, because we are using cheese model. What are those things? Common triggers, trauma, stress. How do you identify traumas? Negative coping techniques. Some people, when they are having any issue, they will go and drink. They will go and smoke. In fact, there was this comedy I watched. They said, Nigerians, it's not even Nigeria, they mentioned the tribe. They said, if something happened to them, they say, "Oh boy, things are very tough, Mo will go drink." They will go and drink. If something good happens, no, the other one, something bad happened, they will go and drink. If something good happens again, my brother, this thing will happen, good news, so Mo will go drink. If nothing happened, like they are on a neutral ground, say, "Oh boy, see as everywhere just be," Mo will go drink. No matter what happens, they are always drinking. But drinking is a negative coping technique. Because by the time you take alcohol, once your eye clear, you return back to the problem. It doesn't address it. Those are negative coping strategies. Biological factors, economic factors, and misunderstanding about mental health. People think that they need to talk about mental health when they have trauma. Okay, they gave me 40 minutes. I don't know why people say 30 minutes. They gave me 40 minutes. 30. When you reviewed it, you didn't contact me. Now, warning signs. So you just me 5 more minutes so that I would rush through these things. There's a whole lot about mental health. Mental health is not what you will talk about in 14 minutes, but I want to touch as much as possible. If you need more info, I'm not selling my book. But if you need more info, my book is there, but I'm not selling my book. So warning signs. Sorry, I'm not marketing my book, but if you need more, you can go. So warning signs, you need to know when you are changing. Some people begin to withdraw from the environment. Not only yourself, watch your colleagues. In one of our training, one of them told us a story about when she observed that her colleague was withdrawing. She had to go and meet her. What is the problem? What are you facing? She was first pretending. Then one day, she followed her to the toilet, to the restroom, the female restroom. Then she immediately, because she's a guy in the company, she told them to lock the door and went to meet her so that nobody will come in. What's your problem? She touched her shoulder. She said, nothing. No, there's something happening to you. Then guess what? The first thing that she did. Guess what she did? Yes, she first started crying. Yeah, people should lock the door. Started crying. She cried. I said, allow her cry. Let the outburst come. Then later, she started talking about the family issues, the issue of the husband, the stress and everything with the work, with the children. And this is the reality. It's happening it's happening to people in your workplace, but you don't know. You think it's all about them to just deliver the job, and you expect them to be productive. Productivity can never be possible when the issue of mental well-being is not being addressed. So I said, give me 5 more minutes. Do you all agree that you give me 5 more minutes? You see now, 10 more minutes. Okay, I don't win this battle. You don't get yours. You see me, they won't spend 10 more minutes now your time. You mean then they sit down? No, you mean then they sit down. You said they agree now. Wait to be your own. So, increased irritability, short temper, loss of interest. Some people start getting angry. Any small thing, you observe that your dad comes, when we are young, our dad will just come out and just getting angry. You'll be like, what is happening? Why is this man angry? Nothing happened now. But you don't understand that it's coming from somewhere. That is why emotional intelligence, mental well-being, psychological safety, all those things, they work together. Because it's when you understand the emotion of others that you can be able to address the issue of mental health. Our dads then, they will come home and they will start getting angry. Sometimes you just feel pissed. And when you identify these triggers from yourself or from your colleague, you know what, okay, this is the boundary line now. Let me give my husband some space so that he'll be able to address. Then hey, Walieyullah. Don't fall down. Now, loss of interest, change in appetite, fatigue, and the likes. All these are the warning signs and so many ways. I talk about coping. I said coping, we have 2 types. We have various ways of classifying. Let's do positive and negative. When you say positive, it's the good one. If you say negative, it's the bad one. So now, let's us move faster. Negative, avoiding people. Hey, sorry. If my brother should fall down from here. Voila. I won't explain what happened. There was a stress. I realized I didn't bring my belt from Lagos yesterday. And Oga Clayton's belt was too big for me. You know, I don't get waist. I don't get belly. So, now, coping techniques, negative coping strategies. Some people, your husband or your wife or your colleague at work offends you. You are still working in the workplace. Or you have done that your colleagues, they are having issues and they are separating themselves, like they are creating discord. Try to build that relationship. Don't advise them to always ignore themselves and separate themselves. Because, okay, this person has offended me, let me avoid him. It doesn't solve the problem. Facing challenges is a positive coping strategy. Now, these are positive. I'll just pick one of those. I'll just highlight them. All these are in my book anyway. I can do it. Being positive, connecting with others, self-discipline, adjusting your expectations. Some people, they want to make billions. You know, exactly all this our era. They want to buy Benz at 19. I remember one of my cousins was telling my brother that if you look at his mate already driving Benz. And then my brother was 19 years old. I said, are you mad? 19 years old driving Benz. Why are you giving so much expectation? Some people, they expect too much of themselves that they lose track of their mental health. All these are part of the coping strategies. Then we have what we call problem-focused and emotion-focused strategies also. You can screenshot this for you to look at personally. Let me give you 3 seconds to screenshot. Though it is copyright, but you have the right to copy it. All right. Emotion focus, exercising, taking your bath, giving yourself pep talk, meditating. These are what you educate your workers to do. Then problem focus, working on time management, asking for support, and so many of these things. As little as having a diary, as simple as it is, it will help you to solve 50% of your mental health issues. People think that they can put everything on their head and remember. And the same brain is the one that is coordinating all the activities in the body. All your neurological system, now the brain, the controller. The same brain you are using to accumulate what you want to do. Why can't you relieve that brain by having a diary? Something as simple as that will help you to address your mental health issues. And moving, relax. Don't stress yourself. Leave work at work. Some people will finish working at work, they'll still take it home. They say because they want to have 5.0. I don't know if they are still in school. You can learn and practice how to relax. Relaxation techniques. Now, this is the end part. This is the last part, so give me some minutes more. EAP, in your company, in your organization, do you have employee assistance program that talks about work-life balance? Some people, they would work from Monday, from January to December. when they're supposed to go for leave, they will go for leave, but the third day, they will come back to work. They say because house is boring, and they are still coming back to work when they are on leave. That person is not passionate. That person is addicted. Sometimes people confuse passion and addiction. Some people are addicted about something, they think they are passionate. But that discussion is for another day. But if you want to know about it, you can get my book. I'm not advertising my book. So, training for managers, for your workers on mental health, coverage that treats mental health as physical illness. When someone comes to you and says he has malaria and is shaking, you tell him to go for leave. But when someone tells you, even in the Employee Compensation Act, this NSITF Act, there's a provision for mental health when you have evidence to prove that you are mentally distressed. How many of us know about these things? Few. Only Mama knows about it. And these are areas that tells you the importance of addressing mental health in the workplace, promoting a culture of mental well-being, providing standards for relating with each another, creating policies that address mental well-being. So many things can be done to address issue of mental well-being in the workplace. And before I move on, let me understand and let me tell you that when it comes to mental well-being, it is not a burden. It is what will help you to improve productivity, to improve great high level of productivity in the workplace and improve mental health and safety. As I see you now, I shake. You see, as I cut. They cut my heart after they see you so. Now, risk factors, psychological support, organizational culture, clear leadership and expectation when it comes to mental health, civility and respect, recognition and award. All this behavioral-based safety. Your behavioral-based safety should not only be about observation. Talk about mental health when it comes to your behavioral-based safety. Workload management, invite engagement, and work-life balance and psychological protection. What are your action plans? I'm already rounding up. When you get back to your workplace, conduct a risk assessment that includes, review it, let it include mental well-being, provide training and support, and monitor employee well-being. And that's how I'm going to end today with my wonderful quote. Mental health is not a destination, but a process. It is about how you drive, not where you're going. Thank you, and God bless you. So finally, you can go to this website, do this for yourself, www.systempersonalitiesvault.com, to understand your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats. This is a freebie for you. Thank you once again. I remain Walieyullah Adegoke. Thank you.
I don't need to beg for you to clap for him. The clap will reduce the mental stress I have put on him immediately. Because he was supposed to finish in 30 minutes. He stole 10, and stole another 5, and was stealing like that and stealing like that. He is a Yoruba man, and I could hear myself calling him Ole time, Ole, Ole. All right. You know, while he was talking about mental health, I remember that when he was telling the story of the man that was shouting at the back of the car, "Can't take this, I can't take this." I was also in a vehicle that a man was shouting, "I can't take any shit from any woman. I can't take any shit. I can't take any..." In my usual way of reducing people's mental stress, I told the man, "Oga, calm down. You are wrong, sir. You have been taking shite from women. The time you dey inside your mama belly, you take shite. She poo-poo, you dey there. You smell her. She eat food wey don sour, you follow swallow her. She mess, you dey there. You have been taking this thing from childhood. So continue to take till we reach heaven. And that's my formula, to be alive and train my children. I take shite, oh. Women, oh yeah, give us shite. That's what we were born to take. Adam took it till he eat apple. Now here we did. All right. At this point in time, we've been sitting for the past 4 hours. And I just want us to stand up, stretch ourselves, go to the exhibition stand. I'll just give you only 10 minutes. Go to the exhibition stand, look at what is there. You want to buy a few things, you do. You want to make contact with friends like me. I want to shake hands with the HSE manager, MTN, and ask for benefit of doubt on my credit. If he can if it can help my mental stress, just give me 40 GB of data, and I'll be very okay.